In this lesson, we're going to build the hood of our car. Alright, so let's go ahead and go to edge mode. Let's select this edge right here. We're going to hold shift and we're going to drag this out. Okay, and I'm actually going to follow this loop all the way across the top to the center here. So we're going to pull that out to right about here. We're going to hold shift and we're going to continue to pull these polygons around, making them around the same size. We don't have to be exact, but we'll get it close, and we'll manage it as we go along. So let me go ahead and make planar in the Z. Let's make sure that this is set to 0, and then go to vertex mode. Whoops. Go to vertex mode, and then we'll pull these around, making sure that that looks nice and neat there. Following along with the flow, and there we go. Okay, so now we've got that. Let's take a look at our left view. You can see that this is pretty much way below what we need it to be, so we're going to raise all those vertices up, and I'm going to raise it up until this vertex matches. Then I'm going to select just the remaining ones and continue pulling those up until we've matched our shape. Okay, so something like that should be pretty good. And then we need to take care of the bottom edges here. So let's select all these vertices here. Across the bottom, go to our left view. Let me pull this up. And then I'm going to pull it up to right about here. Hit Alt-X, and you can kind of see where this bend is. Okay, it kind of comes up along this line here. So let me pull that. And then I'm going to try to just get these to match up to that line. And if we need to do any more tweaking as we go along, we can do that. All right, now really important about the reference image here. You can see that we have this scoop that comes across the center along the front. You could definitely see it in your top view, this scoop right here. We want to make sure that we're not building that. We want to build basically this flat surface here and go underneath it. Okay, so we're not going to take these points all the way up. We're actually just going to come right up underneath it like this. Okay, do any tweaking that you need to for that process there. It looks pretty good. I just noticed really quickly that this edge right here, this vertex, doesn't appear to be matching up any longer. I think we moved that by accident. There we go. All right, so now in your left view you can see that that's matching up there. All right, now let's go to edge mode and let's select this edge right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to shift and drag and follow along with the contours of my roof. So hold shift, or not roof, but hood. And let's drag this out. And actually, you know what? Let's do it this way. I think this will be a better way of doing it. Let's select these two edges. Let's bridge those. And let's bridge them and add a few segments in there. Let's do 3 or 4 segments. So we'll go to this edge right here. And let's make sure that we have the correct one. There we go, just that one. Let's pull that up, and I'm going to go to the bottom right underneath that. Let me actually take these vertices down a little bit. Okay, let's go to our perspective view. Let's select the next edge in line. Pull that straight up until it cuts that part off there. Because we're going to extrude that scoop up. Okay, out of this geometry that we're building. Okay, and then it's going to flow right into all of that. Perfect. All right, so now we've got that hood started. Next thing that we need to do, very important, if we go to our top view, we need to make sure that we have these vertices matching here. So this is going to kind of throw some things off a little bit, but we'll get our shape back. Let's go ahead and take these vertices right here. Let me constrain them to my edge, and let me pull those over until they meet the outside edge of that scoop, just like this. Then we're going to take this, let's turn off our edge constraints. Let's just pull that over in the X until that matches. And we're going to do that on all of these all the way up. Okay. And then with these right here, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn on my edge constraint. Let me pull that across here. Just like that. And then let's take these vertices, let me pull that across here, and just kind of redistribute that. Beautiful. All right, now let's go ahead and pull that to where we get this straight line here. Okay, nice and neat, and it flows together. Awesome. So now that we have that set, we have to have that set of edges there. Now we do have some other details. We have the little scoops that are reverse. We want to make sure that we have those in there, but I'm going to wait on those. We're not going to build those in just yet. We can go ahead and start building some segments for that, but we're not going to extrude any of that up. So really quickly, let's go ahead and just build across. Let's build all of this in. This can take a little bit of work because now we've got this open hole that doesn't really adhere to the shape of our hood. So what we'll do is we're going to start right up here at this edge. Actually, let's take all of these right here. And let's take all of them down to the corner. And I'm going to hold Shift, and I'm going to drag them straight out. But let's make sure we have our edge constraint turned off. Hold Shift, drag them straight out to the left here, up to that point there. Then I'm going to go to Vertex mode. I'm going to right-click and target weld this point to here. Okay. And then we're going to take this vertex. We're going to leave that there. But notice this little line right here. It comes right up against the side. And it might be kind of hard to see, but what's actually happening is we've got this little line right here. And we need to make sure that we're building that in. So in our top view, let's pull that across. And we're going to match that line. We're going to try to get that to flow nice and neatly. And let's pull this one across. And that's all going to flow together into the top half of that hood there. Okay. And then I'm going to take this one, I'm going to pull that down to here. Because it's going to actually come to a point in this. Kind of tweak that line there. That's looking pretty good. Now, one other thing that I see really quickly is that we've got this line right here, but we don't actually have any segments for that. That's going to be a problem for us. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to right-click and cut from here to here, and then up to here. Okay, that's going to keep that as quads. Then let's take this polygon right here and delete that out. Okay. We need to make sure that we're following along with the flow of everything that we have here. Okay. So that looks good. I'm happy with the way that's coming together. May just need to make a couple of tweaks here and there. Now we need to get all of this together. We need to get what we just created, and we need to fill in this hole. So a couple of things that I see here is that we don't have enough segments for all of this to just bridge across. So we need to add those in. So let's go to Swift Loop and let's just take it one at a time. I need this loop to come right across into here, so I'm just going to add a loop right there. And let's take these two edges here. I'm going to hold Shift, drag that up, go to Vertex mode and target weld, go from here to here. And then I need another segment down here to make this terminate. So let's go to Edit, Swift Loop, add a loop there, and then we'll target weld these 2 points, just like that. Really quickly, make sure that your hood has a good shape to it still. Okay, that's looking really good so far. It is going to come up from this point and then kind of give us this bubble shape, but I don't know if it's going to be that high. And actually, yeah, that's looking pretty good. Okay. All right, so far so good. Let's take this point right here. Let's bring that up. And then also this one right here in the middle. Let's bring that up as well. Okay. All right, edge mode. Let's go ahead and let's take these two edges. I'm going to skip over this for right now, and I'm going to show you why here in just a moment. Let's try to match this up a little bit closer together. So these two are going to come together. I'm probably going to need another loop here, so I'll add it there. So these, let's take this, let me actually pull that up, kind of like that. I'm trying to get them to point toward one another. So that one, and then let's take this one, and that's going to go to here, and then this one is going to go across to here, but I need another edge right there. So here to here, and then this one to here, and then here we're going to go up to here, but I need another edge in there, just like that. And then this will actually come up and start to turn into this. So let's go as far as we can. Let's take these edges, let's select all of them across, just kind of selecting them in pairs. So we'll do that, and then I'm going to bridge. Let's bridge, and let's make sure that there's one segment right in the middle, and then hit OK on that. So that should bridge those, with a couple of polygons, and it should keep it fairly flat. And then now all we have to do is build in this hole here at the top and the bottom. This will be pretty easy. If we select these two and we go to bridge, let's change our settings down to 1 on that. That will actually give us a single polygon in between those two. So now we can come in, we can make some adjustments, but we need to close off the top here. This one's going to be a little more difficult. Let's hold shift, let's drag this up, go to vertex mode, target weld from here to here, and target weld from here to here, so we'll get that to flow right up in there. I'm looking at the loops here, and I'm just really not happy with how this is coming together. Let me actually get rid of that. Let's do this. Let's select this border and cap it with a single polygon. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to right-click, target weld, or actually not target weld, but cut from vertex to vertex and try to close this in. And I'm going to try my best to keep quads. But you'll notice here it's not doing all that great with quads. I've got a couple of triangles here. And so we may have to, let's try a different way. Let's cut from here to here. Get rid of that edge, so just hit backspace on it. And then, let's see, we've got that. I may have to just get rid of a segment in that. So here you can see that we're having some problem solving issues. And let's see. I really like that. I'm just kind of thinking about where I can cut all of this to. Let's go ahead and take those polygons out again. Let's delete. Let's hit Alt X so we can see the polygons a little bit easier. And we've got this loop. We really need that loop there for all that. Let me try this. Let's target weld from here to there. Try to close that in a little bit closer. And then I'm going to take this edge here to this edge, and let's bridge that. And then take these two edges and bridge that. Well, that's not going to work either. Got something going on there. Let's hit Alt X. Got 1, 2, 3, 4 polygons. Bridge that. We've got an extra vertex here somewhere. Select around this one. It says 2 vertices right here. Let's weld that. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. So if I hit Alt X, you can see that now we've got our loop in there. And then we just need to come in and kind of pull these points around. So hit Alt X. Let's pull this around, try to follow along with the flow of our hood again. Take this guy right about here. Yeah, that's much better. I'm really happy with the way that looks so far. Okay, so let's kind of make sure that we have our flow line still. Kind of following along with that. All right, very good. Sorry that took a little bit longer than I wanted it to, but you know, that's a good way of kind of looking at how to problem solve, you know, the specific shapes in your models, because that's going to come up quite a bit. And so just kind of trying some things out and trying different solutions. You know, if it doesn't work, you can go back, you can try something different, and you know, just a really great way of kind of seeing that. So the next thing to do is just to kind of look at your hood, make sure that you've got your points in there, that just making sure that everything is flowing well together. What I want you to do in between lessons is that I want you to take this line of vertices right here, and I want you to just move those up, like in your Y direction here, well actually the Z direction, but move it up to where we get this nice flat surface across the top of the hood. Okay, kind of like this. All right, and then you know, just make some final tweaks here and there, and then get that shape. All right, so that's looking good. Happy with that so far. Like I said, do some tweaks. We've got our hood in there. Now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and start separating out the side panels that we have for our car. And so what that's going to entail is us creating some segments to get this ready for splitting out. So we'll do that in our next lesson.